We're tearing down Adventure Playground.
How come?
Well, we don't have any insurance anymore, and we can't let kids play down here when we don't have insurance to cover the thing.
Oh.
What do you think about that?
I don't know.
You've been down here a lot?
No, this is second time.
Second time? How come you came back a second time? Well, why does it matter if we close this park down? It's the same as any other park, isn't it?
No, it ain't. You don't have to.
One at a time. How about you?
Well, you don't have to follow as many rules or get all the hassle from other people.
Well, there's no rules at the regular parks. You can slide on the slides and swing on the swing.
Well, this is like made by the kids.
That's true.
It's made by the kids, and not everybody else.
They got the mudslide and the
Yeah, but then you go home all muddy.
So if you if your mom gets mad at you, who cares? Yeah.
I'm Bill Vance. I'm a recreation supervisor with the City of Huntington Beach Recreation and Parks Department. I'm here at Adventure Playground, which we started in June of 1974. The playground was fashioned after a European variety that's been popular in Germany and a lot of the Scandinavian countries for about the last 25 or 30 years. Actually, they got started, they say, in Berlin at the end of World War II, when park designers noticed that children spent more time playing in the rubble of bombed-out buildings than they did in the playgrounds that had been designed and built for them. Later on, about 10 or 15 years ago, the idea became very popular in England, thanks to the push of Lady Allen of Hurtwood, a member of the British aristocracy. They haven't been very popular in the United States, primarily due to aesthetics and liability considerations. Most of the countries that are carrying the idea now are on some form or another of socialized medicine and don't experience the problems we do in this country. They have one currently in existence up in Milpitas, California, which ours is fashioned after, and one also back in Central Park in New York City. One of the high points of Adventure Playground is the low cost. There is no maintenance once the playground is built. As far as materials and supplies go, most of them can be donated, acquired through people that are willing to clean out their garages or backyards, or from local commercial and industrial organizations that are willing to let loose of anything they can't use in their business. We've spent a total of about $50 or $60 in one calendar year at Adventure Playground for materials. Our only other costs in implementing Adventure Playground in Huntington Beach were our normal personnel costs and the expense of 2 portable lavatories which we had to bring to the site. We had anticipated a budget of approximately $7,000 to keep the playground operative through fiscal 1976. One of the reasons for the success of our Adventure Playground here in Huntington Beach was the site. A lot of people want adventure playgrounds, but the idea of having them across the street from you isn't too popular. We have an abandoned sand and gravel quarry here that's 50 feet below street level, and so that eliminated that problem immediately. Huntington Beach Adventure Playground has been the safest park in town, as well as the most popular. We averaged over 500 children a day last summer, and usually anywhere from 100 and 150 in the afternoons during school years. We are statistically sound. We have fewer accidents, a better loss experience ratio than any community center or park in town. We've estimated about 70% of our attendants to be Huntington Beach residents. The other 30% are comprised of out-of-town children visiting the area as individuals. We also receive quite a number of special organized groups. We've had mentally retarded children, partially deaf, partially sighted, YMCAs. This young fellow is about to take a ride on the cable slide, or Slide for Life. This activity was fashioned after a similar structure at the Milpitas, California Adventure Playground. Theirs goes into a cargo net. Ours, as you can see, goes into a pond. This eucalyptus stand features a ranch-style treehouse and a couple of tire swings, which are very popular with the younger children that don't care to go on some of the more exciting activities. It's almost constantly occupied by the children in the 6 or 7 year age group on down. To the right there, Ann, age 6, was one of between 40 and 50,000 children who visited Adventure Playground between June of '64 and May of 1975. Got a little plug for herself on the side of the storage building here built by the staff at Adventure Playground. Just to the right of that was the Adventure Garden, also done by the children. And you see a few of the old park stables there that we obtained from the Parks Department that were no longer serviceable for use at our regular playgrounds, but were fine for Adventure Playground. Entry into Huntington Beach Adventure Playground is down the slope you see here to the top of the ladder. which negotiates you down the last 12 or 14 feet into the base of the pit. Most of the time, parents won't attempt to make the trip. They'll stand up on top and watch their children from a good vantage point. This is one of several fires that will be used to destroy Adventure Playground now that the liability insurance has been canceled. We're going to have to clean the pit out entirely and return it to its natural state, as it will constitute an attractive nuisance if we leave it as it is. We'll probably burn most of the... What appears to be a several-story building here is actually an old lifeguard tower that was donated to us by the Harbors and Beaches Department. The children are now tearing the boards off of it that were put up to make a fortress out of it. It'll be torn down and burned along with the other structures at Adventure Playground. Southern California Edison Company, and the plan came from a book that was brought to the playground by one of the children. This particular portion of the park is watched by at least one supervisor at all times, as we do have children who are non-swimmers in the water. Never have had a serious accident at all regarding rafting. Up on your left you see a piece of self-made playground apparatus, a climbing and hanging device made out of old cable spools, and down underneath that is someone's home. If you can see, it extends out the back, and there is a cellar in that place where the child lives when he's visiting Adventure Playground. It's got old cargo netting draped around it that he can climb and hang on. Virtually the same kind of playground apparatus you find at any park, except this was built by the child as well as utilized for play by him. In terms of serious injuries, which is a concern of most everyone that sees Adventure Playground, in the year we've been in existence, statistically our loss experience ratio with the insurance carrier has been better than any community center or park or playground in the city of Huntington Beach. However, it is felt by our insurance carrier that Adventure Playground offers exceptional opportunity for severe injury, and that's the reason that we're going to have to close down at this particular point in time. The rope bridge at Adventure Playground was built with donated materials, the poles coming from Pacific Telephone, and the rope being donated by the Huntington Beach Fire paramedics. They apparently got an order that didn't meet their specifications and gave us about 600 feet of it. Wondering what to do with it, asked around, and one of the children showed up with a book that gave us a plan on how to build a suspension bridge, and it's been one of the more popular activities. One of the most fun things to do is wait until your friend gets out into the middle and then shake the thing violently, hoping to dump him into the water. Since its inception, Huntington Beach Adventure Playground has been featured at the National Recreation and Parks Association Congress in Denver, Colorado to some 400 delegates, California Park and Recreation Society Convention in San Diego in March of '75 to about 300 delegates. It's been on ABC, NBC, and CBS television news networks nationwide. Has quite a number of feature articles written about it in local newspapers. It's been carried on the radio. It's gotten a lot of activity as a result of the many speaking engagements we've had requests from over 150 cities throughout the United States for information on how to pursue the idea. As we keep the standard array of playground materials and supplies on hand at Adventure Playground, nothing is programmed. However, we keep paper, paint, paste, glue, color crayons, all the regular stuff out here in case the younger children or any child wants to do something of that nature at a particular point in time. It's built an Adventure Playground unless it's asked for by the children. None of the standard array or variety of playground equipment will be found at Adventure Playground. In this particular instance, children, some of the smaller children, wanted a place where they could shoot baskets, and this is the only place in town where a 6- or 7-year-old can reach the basket. This is not a basketball hoop, this is an adventure hoop. On the right here is Norm Worthy, the Director of Recreation and Parks in the City of Huntington Beach, and a man who was instrumental in our obtaining permission to build the playground. As a matter of fact, the first director in Southern California that had the courage to try to push the idea through commission and council. To the right of Mr. Worthy is Charles Oncia, who just graduated from Long Beach State with a degree in recreation. He has been the first and the only director of Huntington Beach Adventure Playground and is probably 50% responsible for its success because of his incredible ability to establish rapport with young children and still maintain the air of authoritarianism that you have to have in a place like this. Here comes a kid through the cable slide, 125 feet into a mud puddle. This also is built with donated materials and is fashioned after the slide they have in the City of Milpitas Adventure Playground in Northern California.
Hello, I'm Norm Worthy, the Director of Recreation and Parks for the City of Huntington Beach. We're surveying here the Adventure Playground, which was an experimental program that we introduced here just a little over a year ago. And the play that you see going on here is purely spontaneous, very little supervision, just enough to keep the kids happy and from not encroaching upon each other's so-called properties and the things that they want to do. The area sort of looks reminiscent of a junkyard or a dump site. It's an old gravel pit, a gravel quarry, which has been excavated, and all of the material is gone that is usable, and so we're using it for the adventure program. We found that the program, although it's great for the kids, has given the insurance company who handles our liability program rather nightmares of recent days, and so they've instructed us to cancel this program out as of the end of the spring season. And this is, in effect, the last day of this program. We're looking at some rather unique activities taking place in this park compared to what we ordinarily could offer in a park. First of all, the terrain with its steep sides offers adventure, which the ordinary park would not be able to do. The slide down the hillside on cardboard cartons, or in the summertime when we pump water up there and have a mudslide. This is the main entrance into Adventure Playground, and although it looks rather hazardous, it is really quite safe. There's the long rope which the boy in the red shirt there is running alongside, which most people hang on to when they come down in through the groove, and then the ladder to get over the steep portion. They find that this is very challenging and gives them a sense of excitement to enter the park in this manner. I see a couple of youngsters up at the top of the dirt slide. Don't know whether they're going to take off here or not, but that's one of the interesting aspects of this park. They may climb up there with the intention of sliding, and then they may decide that it's a little bit too exciting for what they want to try at the moment. There goes one down. And there we see a couple of lads swinging a rubber tire, and you'd think they might want to ride that, but there's sometimes that they prefer to just swing it back and forth rather than take the ride. There he goes. There is a boy on it. He's going out, and there he comes back again. All part of the fun and adventure playground. Our Adventureland here has a little for everyone. It's not all active play. We find here a very passive spot, a small pond that's got a little fish habitat in it, and the rushes that grow around it naturally, and most youngsters wouldn't have the chance to learn about nature in this sort of setting if it weren't for this particular pit here and their visit to it. Here's one of our more adventuresome lads taking off on probably the most exciting ride in Adventure Playground, and that's the cable tire ride out across the pond. Here he comes. Oh, he dipped his feet. There he is. He's in safe. Although these look rather exciting and dangerous, they really are relatively safe. Here we have a couple that's kind of surveying the pastoral scene, the other part of Adventureland that maybe doesn't have as much excitement on the surface, but certainly the wildlife are experiencing their Adventureland too. One of The more popular activities in Adventureland is the rafting in the small ponds here. As you see, the kids, I think, are spending more time in the water than they are on the rafts, but the idea, of course, is to stay on top of the rafts. There you see a youngster on the rope bridge making, oh, there he goes, into the water. They come in all sizes. This little tiny one out there just holding her own with the rest of the kids. She doesn't seem to be afraid at all of pulling her raft right in with the rest of them. Swing. This sand and gravel pit is within stone's throw of the new $5 million Library and Cultural Resources Center here in Huntington Beach, and its ultimate fate is not known at this time. It's been suggested to be a botanical gardens, the pit to be filled nearly to the top, and then it's also been suggested that it might be an ideal football and soccer stadium. So what eventually happens to this pit is not known at this time. I think everyone will agree that, as for right now, they'd like to see it stay as the adventure playground, the best place to have fun in Huntington Beach.